Hello, I'm Schizofenik, and you're watching the actors that I would like to have seen play Batman. This video was originally uploaded in 2017, titled as the actor I would like to see play Batman. However, since that ship has now sailed, I thought that I would retitle this as my preferred choices are now perhaps a little too old. Over the years, there have been many big screen portrayals of the Dark Knight, some of which have been excellent, whilst others were not so excellent. I have always maintained that my favourite live-action Batman and Bruce Wayne was Michael Keaton. Now I know that he was not to everybody's liking, however he still remains as my personal favourite. Although he may not have had the physical attributes to play Batman, he brought a dark, enigmatic edginess to the role which made it believable that he was hiding a troubled alter ego. Also, his Batman voice was only second to Kevin Conroy's, so I personally loved his performance. Some more recent portrayals have been less successful for various reasons. I thought Val Kilmer was okay, but just okay, and did nothing memorable for me in the role. George Clooney really did not work in my opinion, and I found his performance a little comedic at times. This is a shame, as I really like Clooney as an actor and wish he was allowed to play the role in a similar manner to his portrayal of Seth Gecko in From Dusk Till Dawn. That would have brought the edgy tough guy element that was missing from so many depictions of the Dark Knight. Although he was loved by many, I personally thought that Christian Bale did not bring very much to the role, aside from an over-theatrical voice as Batman. Additionally, his performance as Bruce Wayne seemed to me like a carbon copy of his portrayal of Patrick Bateman in American Psycho. Personally, I felt that Ben Affleck was the better choice as Batman and Wayne, however he was too big a star to play the character as we all associated him with other iconic roles. Did he look the part? Absolutely, but did he bring enough to the roles? In my opinion, no. Like Kilmer, he was okay, but it came across as exactly what it was, Ben Affleck playing Batman. I just could not fully believe in the portrayal. Therefore, I was of the opinion that Hollywood did not manage to cast the right actor to play Batman since Michael Keaton. However, that finally changed with the appointment of Robert Pattinson in 2022's The Batman. I must confess that I had my reservations with Pattinson playing my favourite comic book character, but he completely proved me wrong and has won me over. Not only was the film awesome, but Pattinson's portrayal of the younger Dark Knight was fantastic, and I certainly owe the man an apology for ever doubting him. So, with my faith restored in the actor playing a more youthful Batman, which actors would I have liked to have seen depict the Caped Crusader over the years? Well, since I'm incredibly fussy about who plays this role, let me set out my essential criteria for anyone depicting the Dark Knight across the decades. Physical appearance. Firstly, I think they would need to look like Bruce Wayne. Now, there have been many versions of this character over the years, but I personally like the realistic Alex Ross interpretation. Ross went for the classic Dick Tracy look for Wayne, so I would want to see an actor that resembles this version. Legitimate acting ability. Anyone playing the dual role of Batman would need serious acting capabilities, and they cannot just get by on their physical appearance. If it was just about looks, I would just cast MMA fighter Luke Rockhold, who looks the part, can fight, and has the right physique for the role. Unfortunately, based on some of his interviews, Rockhold would likely struggle with the acting demands of this complex character. But this is my point. On too many occasions, Hollywood cast people based on their good looks because they knew that they would bring audiences to cinemas. However, I think that they are missing the point here. True fans do not necessarily want to see attractive people play their favourite characters, but actors who look right for the role and, most importantly, can perform. For me, the best example of this was Michael Keaton, who won skeptical fans over with his performance. Body type. Anyone fighting criminals on a nightly basis would need to be very physically fit, and this would be reflected in his physique. This is where Christian Bale excelled, and where Michael Keaton, amongst many others, failed. Therefore, anyone who was to play the Dark Knight would need to meet my three key criteria. My earliest choice is from the 1960s. During this time, it was the TV series that was prevalent, and they cast Adam West in what has become a camp classic. However, if Hollywood decided to make a more accurate film noir-style Batman during this time, then I feel that Gregory Peck would have been an outstanding choice. He certainly had the acting credentials and screen presence to portray both Batman and Wayne. Furthermore, he was clearly the inspiration for Bruce Wayne in Batman Year One, as you can see here. In more recent times, there were two actors that I personally think could have played Batman. The first of my choices actually played the Punisher. This was in 2008's Warzone, where Ray Stevenson portrayed Frank Castle. For me, he perfectly fits the Alex Ross aesthetic with his dark hair and sinister scowl. He could certainly have brought a more menacing appearance to The Dark Knight. Although not the greatest performer, Stevenson is a solid actor and showed that he could portray the tough guy role on many occasions. Finally, at a solid and stocky 6'3" during the early to late 2000s, Stevenson would have looked the part physically as well. Not overly muscular, but functionally strong, almost like a circus strongman, which I think is actually more appropriate for the character. Despite both Peck and Stevenson ticking all the boxes, I think that there was one actor that trumped them both for the role of the Dark Knight. The actor I would like to have seen play Batman the most was Jon Hamm from the hit TV series Mad Men. I truly feel that Hollywood missed a trick in not casting this man as Bruce Wayne, especially after Bale hung up the cowl. Instead, however, they missed the obvious choice and went with Affleck, even though it was rumoured that Hamm was strongly campaigning for the role. So, what would have made Hamm the perfect choice? Firstly, with his dark black hair, green eyes, and Caucasian features, Hamm had the classic masculinity that Alex Ross went for in his interpretation of Bruce Wayne. I personally prefer a Batman that is set in the 1940s or 50s, much like the time period of the first season of Mad Men. I can already see him now, brooding while sat in the study of Wayne Manor or preparing to fight crime in the Batcave. Hamm is an actor with serious credentials, as he won the Golden Globe for Best Actor in his performance as Don Draper. Therefore, Hamm would have no problem at all with playing a dual personality. He is also well known for his deep, stern voice, and I would love to hear his interpretation of the Batman voice. Finally, at 6'2", Hamm is exactly the same height as Batman, so he did have the right body type. However, he would have to have undertaken a very rigorous training program before playing the role to further develop his physique. Perhaps we could have had the best of both worlds, and Luke Rockhold could have been his stunt double, performing the fight sequences. So, there you have it. These were the actors that I would most like to have seen play Batman, but unfortunately, that ship has now sailed. Despite this, I'm not as disappointed as I once was, and that is thanks to Robert Pattinson, as I strongly anticipate the Batman 2. What did you think of my casting choices for Batman over the years? Would you have preferred other actors for the role? If so, who? Are you happy with Robert Pattinson? And if not, then who would you cast in his place from today's crop of actors? Please let me know in the comment section, but until next time, it's goodbye from me. Take care.